Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. The fact that you're willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. For those of you that don't know, my name is Caleb Janssens and I love movies. We're actually in a brand new set and I haven't uploaded any videos in a very long time because I've actually been going through a hell of a roller coaster in my personal life. But we have now just moved houses, got a new job, so everything is slowly starting to come back together, slowly starting to become a little bit more normal, and hopefully that means more consistency on this YouTube channel. But of course, today we're going to be talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I've been waiting for this movie ever since I knew it was announced. In my honest opinion, the Caesar trilogy, which was Rise, Dawn, and War of Planet of the Apes, is one of the greatest modern movie trilogies. So I really went into this film with very high expectations. Probably expectations a little bit too high, but guess what? This film even exceeded my expectations. I really enjoyed this film. If you're a fan of any of the Planet of the Apes films, whether that's the originals from the 70s or whether that's the newer films, you're going to love this one because there's a little bit of love for every single series. This film is like a perfect blend of what came before and potentially what's going to come in regards to the timeline of Planet of the Apes. Like, there's just Easter eggs galore, and it's just good storytelling, beautiful cinematography, and beautiful visual effects. I want to talk about the visual effects first because we're in a day and age where, like, holy smokes, CGI, special effects, it can be so wonky when not handled correctly. I mean, we've all been watching the same Marvel movies. We've all been watching the same superhero films. The special effects have not been good at all. Like, at all. This film is like, it's beautiful. It's stunning. This is a properly beautiful film. The special effects, the CGI really do hold up. There's some very intense close shots where you can just see the details on the apes' hands and on their faces. Like, I always thought the special effects for the Planet of the Apes movies were great, ever since Rise. But this film just elevates the bar. Like, all of the films in the series have been beautiful. But this just, the hyper-realism is it's delicious. That's a terrible word to use, but it's really just a sight to behold. And then in regards to performances, the voice acting and the motion tracking and just everything just brought these characters to life. The script was great. And I mean, when you have a protagonist like Caesar for 3 films, you really need a strong protagonist to really just carry the torch moving forward. And with Noah, we have that. He's a completely different character to Caesar, where Caesar was this strong leader. He was passionate and he was firm in his beliefs. Noah's a little bit different. He's a bit more of an introvert, but he thinks about everything. He's very critical about the way he proceeds with things. And he's not the natural expected leader. He has to earn the title of leader. And I really enjoyed that about this film. And then, of course, I mean, there is the massive shadow of Caesar over this film, and he's become this messianic figure. He's basically, to put it in layman's terms, he's ape Jesus. But I really enjoyed how this film honored his legacy and also started to plant seeds about the future of the timeline. If you watch the original Planet of the Apes movies, the ones from the 70s, you can see that world coming to life in this movie. And then finally, the last thing I want to touch on without giving any spoilers is kind of just the motivations of characters, because they're very well thought out and executed in this movie. There are a lot of characters that when they're introduced, we're like, okay, cool, we understand how this character thinks. But then there's shades of grey. And I really enjoy that about this film. It looks at morality on a scale. No characters are completely wholly good, and very few are completely wholly evil. We have a good scale and we have a good understanding of why characters act the way they act. Everyone has a well thought out reason for behaving the way they do. And I really appreciated that because even the villains, I was like, oh, I understand why they're villains. The protagonists, I understand their motivations. They're not just people who are doing things because it's the right thing to do. You understand why they want to do that. So yes, guys, all in all, this was a truly phenomenal film. I loved it. I really did. I'd highly recommend that you go watch it as soon as you physically can. Take a bunch of people because you're going to want to talk about this movie afterwards. This is really just a film you watch with a bunch of people and just spend hours afterwards talking about. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you've sat through it for this long, it really does mean the world to me. Please give this video a like. Comment down below if you have any thoughts about either my review or the film itself. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And I hope to see you guys again in another review. Hey guys, I'd like to take this opportunity to shout out my close friend and co-worker KG with his podcast, Who Got the Juice? If you are someone who wants to be creatively inspired, this is a podcast you've got to check out. He's been interviewing industry leaders. Ultimately, if you're someone who just wants to make something that means something, check out his podcast because you are going to be inspired.